got a regular media frenzy going on here.
Yeah. Make sure. Are you guys okay with that microphone, or do you need to?
I'm good if you can hear us.
Ted, can you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Pointing just a little bit more toward Ted. That way we can kind of.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
How's that?
That's good. That'll work. All right, you in? Okay. There we go. Well, this week on Be Big Online with Jason Broadwater of RevenFlo, going to start going in a bit of a different direction as Jason has some new blood to introduce to us.
Thanks, Jay. I got with me here Ted Kozlowski, and I'm really excited to introduce him. He's a new member of RevenFlo. He's our director of sales, and he's going to really bring a whole new element to RevenFlo, serving a whole new demographic. The small business, the small local business that really needs the internet to get charged, to get leads, to get moving. So here he is, Ted.
Well, Ted, welcome.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jason.
Now tell us a little bit about what you do and what you hope to bring to RevenFlo.
Well, with RevenFlo, Jason and RevenFlo as an organization has proven themselves very adept to bringing the enterprise level marketing technology to large, medium-sized to large businesses. What I hope to do with RevenFlo and the help of Jason is to bring that enterprise level technology to the small business owners that need the most help right now, that have typically been ignored with all the latest and greatest tools out there to generate new leads and to capture new business and to have a more effective web presence online.
Well, what do you hope to bring to those small businesses specifically?
Specifically, we need to get small businesses more leads. We need to make sure when someone goes to Google and types in 24-hour plumber in Rock Hill, that what shows up is a local plumber that can do the job for them, and therefore they'll contact that plumber, and that plumber will get some more business.
And that's an interesting point, Ted, because RevenFlo really has focused on building technology and methodology infrastructure. And that's a long-term investment. You take a company that's going to invest, maybe a $10,000 startup or something, and then X amount per quarter, and they're looking at bettering their organization with content management and different long-term goals. Well, you can't get there if you don't have capital and already a record of success in the local marketplace. So, as you're a small business that's functioning job by job by job, that's not really what you need yet. You need Ted.
You need Ted,
right?
Really, you need to get found online. It's not necessary for a plumber, an auto body repair shop, most small businesses to put out a large capital expenditure to build an effective web presence. They just need to show up when people are searching for their products and services online. The last study that was done said almost 70% of consumers look online for local businesses, whereas before that was all yellow page ads. Now the vast majority of the market is going online, and these customers, these small businesses really just need to get found.
Well, and I guess in the coming weeks we can start to address ways to address that basically, and how you're going to approach it and what those small businesses can do.
Look forward to it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Good. That equals out.
Nice.
It works. Okay, now how do you want to build on it from here?
Well, if I was smarter than I am, I would have topics that we could approach for each show like I usually do. So, Ted, usually what I do is I just say to Jay a very, I'll say, social networking. And he'll just go, so how can a local business use social network? And I just start in on it.
Right.
So if we just want to pick a few topics that we could kind of discuss that would be from your angle.
Right.
One would be, PPC. One would be analytics maybe, or acquisition of, cost of acquisition, because how you can track all that stuff.
Right, cost per lead.
Yeah, cost per lead.
I think that's cost per lead. How to
listing directory stuff. Social networking. I don't know. And I'll jump in. I'll still be talking occasionally too.
Yeah, please.
I hope to counter what you're saying, or by representing the traditional RevenFlo in between.
Color commentary, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I guess yeah, it's hard to kind of break this out into 3-minute segments.
Well, don't worry about it. We'll just start talking, and he'll chop it up later.
If you give us just a generalized subject, then we can start talking about it and expand it from there.
But he needs a list to refer to. Like if he gets stuck on questions, he can go to the next item.
Yeah, I think paid advertising. should be a topic. You
Okay.
can talk about Google pay-per-click advertising
Right.
and the benefits to small, local business.
So paid advertising, analytics, and tracking.
Right, analytics and tracking.
And then, a term to throw up in there is maybe cost per lead or acquisition costs. Because one good thing about this program is that you can start to really track what you're paying for and who's doing what, and who's turning into a lead and who's not.
Okay. Okay.
And social networking kind of stuff. If you get into that, that'd be fine too. Talk about tapping into the environment and stuff.
Okay.
I'll let you handle social networking. That's you.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, on this week's edition of Be Big Online with Jason Broadwater of RevenFlo, once again welcoming Ted Kozlowski into the fold, so to speak, of RevenFlo, and talking a little bit about applying what small businesses can do to really expand themselves and make themselves more known on the internet so that they can really expand their business is what we're getting into here. But now, dealing with paid advertising and even going back so far as what Jason and I spoke about before with pay-per-click, how can small businesses really use that to their advantage?
Pay-per-click advertising is great for the small business market because unlike maybe larger national competitors or people with the capital to build a very large dynamic website with lots of content, the only way a small business can get listed locally for certain products and services might be through paid search, where we actually give Google or Yahoo a little bit of money to show our website for a specific search query. So maybe your site shows up great for plumbers in Rock Hill, but it doesn't show up for toilet repair. You can give Google a little bit of money so when your toilet explodes, they type in toilet repair in Google and your website will show up.
A lot of instances of toilets exploding.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, you had mentioned for certain search queries. Now, obviously, this is something you have to pay for by the search name itself, I guess, and how you want to be included in there. What do you think are the most effective ways to, is it just a straightforward a query that you should try and put in there, or are there several different that kind of cover and run the gamut that you should take a look at, do you think?
Really depending on the industry, there can be thousands of search queries. If you look at, someone that works on European cars, they're going to want to show up for a BMW mechanic, BMW repair. They're also going to want to show up for Audi mechanic and Audi repair. Audi repair mechanic is a completely different search query from Audi repair.
And the technology that's available through the Google system and Yahoo system and whatnot, MSN, whatever, you can make it just for that specific keyword, for that keyword in a local marketplace, for that keyword in general, for that keyword plus other keywords tacked onto it. You can really get specific on how you want to manage these keywords.
As well as geography. We can actually freehand and draw a line on a Google map to determine we only want people in this geographic area to see our advertising.
Interesting. How does one, just out of curiosity for my own sake here, how do you go about doing that for specific geographic advertising? How do they handle that, say at Google or Yahoo or whoever?
Google actually knows where we all live. When we do searches online,
even more so now,
right? Even more so now. Google knows where we live based on our IP address, and it's a very loose estimation. It's not going to drop a marker on the top of your house, but we know that you live in the city of Rock Hill, or within a 30-mile radius of Rock Hill. So we can determine that only the people living in that area that are doing searches on Google or Yahoo are going to see your ads. So we're not
talk about market-specific and geographic-specific advertising.
Well, it's unreal, man, because, you can get as geographically specific as you want, but even more so than that, because, a lot of media can do that, but it flips the whole process on its head. It's not that you identify in your boardroom who you want to go after, and then you identify in your boardroom where you're going to place your ad. The search engine, just organically, by the nature of the way search engines work, deliver the result based on the person who's sitting at the computer has demonstrated a specific interest. They are a prospect, or they would not have typed in that term.
Yeah.
And so you're only showing up in front of the people who have demonstrated that they're interested, and you only pay if that person actually clicks on the ad.
It's almost scary how these search bots kind of learn and grow.
Yeah, it is. Artificial intelligence.
Yeah, that's scary. All right. Ace, do you want to still build on that, or do you want to go a different direction? What do you think?
We could go.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think we should probably look at, analytics and setting a baseline.
Okay.
I think we should talk about analytics, tracking your visitors, how many visitors you're getting, how many are turning into a lead,
Right.
kind of thing, to make sure your site's performing.
Oh, I got an idea. Let me tack on real quick a comment about kind of, because I want to keep doing this, defining by opposites. I want to talk about how we served larger businesses with pay-per-click, and then how this is different. So let me chime that in. Like, how you could say, Jason, how is this different from what you're already doing with business?
Okay. Jason, how is this already different from what you're already doing with, say, a larger business?
Well, when we're working with a business that has a significant web presence, we may use pay-per-click just to increase their marketplace presence. One thing is, you get a landscape of your marketplace when you use a search engine, and it determines, perception is reality. It determines who's the big players, who owns what. Just like billboards and TV advertising and print ads. A lot of people run a big print ad just so they can prove to everybody that they can run a big print ad, and for branding purposes. So pay-per-click can be used in that regard to just dominate search terms for a marketplace. And you can run specific guerrilla-style lead generation kind of initiatives, kind of like what Ted's talking about doing for all these small businesses. You can do that with a larger business. You just have to focus in on one service that you're going to sell, create a landing page for it, and really go after that as a specific initiative, like it's its own little small business.
So obviously, if you're a larger business and you're spending a lot toward advertising and toward search engines and whatnot, obviously it's a little bit easier for you than it is for the smaller business to be able to invest in that kind of thing. So you're saying pay-per-click is really an effective tool to use in that realm.
Yeah, and when you bring in analytics here, which Ted can speak to for the small business, you can really track what you're spending and the ROI.
Return on investment, okay.
Absolutely. We look at return on investment in conjunction with analytical data that Google provides us. So Google will tell us that we've had 2,000 visitors over the past 30 days. We can look at those visitors and determine, of those 2,000, how many actually turned into qualified leads or actually bought from us. And that gives us a really good baseline as to how our site's performing and where we need to improve. We can look at analytics and say, we're showing up for plumbing in Rock Hill, we're showing up for, exploding toilets in Rock Hill, but we're not showing up for, frozen pipes or, something that, may be more of a fringe type issue that we think we should show up for.
So with that analytical data, you can actually take it and help to tailor it even more to that business's needs.
Absolutely. We can drill down and we know exactly what people are typing into Google, Yahoo, and Microsoft to find your business, and we can look at terms that are there and are doing well and terms that aren't there that should be, and that's how we kind of look at where we should spend our advertising dollars. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
In addition to the analytic data, we can really nail down an ROI where we can say, maybe you only want to spend $50 a month as a small business on Google advertising or on Yahoo advertising. We can run a campaign and spend that $50, and at the end of that first month, we can say that $50 resulted in 10 new leads for your business. Now, which of these 10 leads actually turned into a new client? And at that point, it's very easy for our clients to say, you know what, that was really worth it because one of those clients, actually bought $500 worth of products, and I made $100 on that client. So they basically paid $1 to get $2 right back. And typically what we see more often than not is the next month, that same client is going to want to spend $200.
It seems to be a lot more effective advertising in this way and being able to tailor it in that way than it would, say, just running a TV ad or throwing a billboard out on the road.
Oh yeah, there's more analytics that you can use. Instead of just general demographic information, you have literal, actual data from the performance of your specific ads. And you can even swap ads and serve, one of them 33% of the time and see which of the three perform best. You can even swap content. One thing we'll get to, and I guess we'll get to it now, is, the pay-per-click is driving the traffic somewhere. You have to have a landing page. When they click on your ad, so Ted's got you to show up. They click on the ad, where are you going to land? Well, when we're working with larger businesses, you have this big infrastructure of a website that you can tack on a landing page to and make it about a specific product or service or focus, and you send them right there. You want the ad to correspond with where they land so that they feel happy about the whole, thought process, the flow of it. But for the small businesses, you can get sidetracked in investing in building the infrastructure in the web. So, we've got a program called servicequote.info where we basically can build you a landing page that's got everything you need on it. It's got your map, your logo, a description of your company, get a quote form, a trackable telephone number, and so then you have somewhere to send everybody when they click on these ads. Plus, you have the synergy of all these service businesses in your local marketplace working together to try to provide free quotes and get leads or whatever. But there's programs like this out there. Wherever you can have a page that can be significant, focused, and provide a tool to get in touch with you, that's where we need to drive the traffic.
Sweet. Okay.
Nice.
Nice. Had to work the service quote in there.
Yeah, I know you guys do
Yeah.
that.
Good stuff. Okay. We've got a lot of work with there.
Okay, good.
Listen, do you want to at least touch on one or two more things?
What else
do
we
you think?
got?
I mean, do you think the phone tracking is something to bring up? I mean,
Yeah, we might as well.
or just do. I mean, should we talk more about just lead generation?
Yeah.
I mean, and just how consumers are finding products and services online. And
Yeah,
why
one
it's
thing
in-
I want to touch on is, and I could chime in and say this, but one thing I'm real happy about this whole service quote concept is that everybody wins. It's not like see, I think lead generation before has been seen like we're going to trick the public into becoming a
Right.
lead. Like this is about the public wants free quotes. These guys are willing to provide them. We're just connecting the two,
Right.
So somehow
Yeah,
about
just-
how consumers are being driven to want a free quote online, or at least access to quotes online, or something like that.
Okay.
The
Okay.
lead
Yeah.
generation stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what. Just lead into it. And I'm going to come back and tag the beginning of these too, because I'm going to have to be very specific in splicing these up since we're kind of expanding and running one into another.
Right.
So I'm going to have to come up with specific intros and outros for each of these. So. take
Do
it
you
away.
want to start?
Yeah, you go.
Okay. When you're driving traffic, using PPC or whatever, pay-per-click or whatever you're using to drive traffic to a page, you're essentially trying to generate some kind of lead or to get some kind of response, a conversion. You want them to do something when they get there, or you wouldn't be paying to get them there. So you're identifying who you want. The system's working beautifully. They're coming to your page. You're having to pay a little bit, and then you're trying to get them to do something. Fill out a form, call a number. You need to be able to track it. You need to be able to provide the tool. So they need to be able to fill out a form. They need to be compelled to. What are they going to get? A free quote? 15% off? I mean, I don't know. So, think about it from the point of view of the consumer. The whole point is to provide a good outlet for the consumer. They want a free quote. They want your service.
They want some sort of an incentive to invest their time in what you have to offer today.
That's exactly right. And Ted can talk a little bit about trackable phone numbers. I mean, that is something that could be a necessary part of your strategy.
Yeah, the idea here is, we're going to create this effective web presence for these clients, using servicequote.info. By creating, using all of our enterprise level technology and pushing all of that into basically a one-page, ultra optimized website that displays your business information. And on that page, we need to be able to track the results, because if we're going to spend money on something, as a small business owner, it's very important, to us and to other, to our clients, that they can see the return on investment. So we're not just blindly throwing money, into the hole, which is the internet. So we have what's called phone tracking on all of our landing pages and all of these pages that we create for you, where we give you a specific local phone number, and we're able to track how many phone calls have been the result of our advertising dollars. We can take it even a step further, and if our client requests, I don't think it's any additional charge, but we can record all of the phone conversations that come through on that number. So you can really determine, did this person call and was he looking for a pizza parlor and, you're an auto body repair shop? Or did that person actually say, hey, when can I bring my car in? That's really important, to sit down at the end of the month and say, hey, you know what, this little site that I've created with Jason and Ted has brought in 15 or 20 or 200 new phone calls, and of those phone calls, X amount has resulted in new business to me.
Is there really any other medium that offers you, that much of a breakdown of your return on investment?
I don't know. I don't know of anything that could be this specific and powerful. Now, of course, there's a give and take with that. The more data and information that you have access to, the more power you have access to. It means the better organization, the more complex the business models and service solution models can get, the more kind of crazy, the more administrative tasks that could be created or whatever. So understanding...
Well, that can bog you down too. If you're
Oh,
not careful.
big time, yeah. So what you need is, and this is what we're so excited about having Ted with us now, is what we're developing, and look wherever you look, but what we're proud of developing is a simple solution to provide all this kind of stuff. A recurring monthly kind of cost-based solution, so you can budget for it, you know what you're doing. It's not like RevenFlo Web Team, which is essentially what we've been doing. The web team, the web marketing side, when we serve a larger, mid-sized business, we're a team by the hour team, and you know, costs can ramp out of control if you're not careful. So you have to have your marketing director focusing on what we're focusing on. Your IT director has to be on top of what we're doing, you know, and we're guiding you with consultation.
Well, once again, you just don't want to throw something at the wall and hope that it sticks. You want to know that it's going to stick, right?
That's exactly right. You don't want to get carried away with developmental costs and infrastructure build-outs and improving your technology. You just want a monthly cost, and you want to know that it's making you more per month than you're spending. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the bottom line is that prior to us putting together this package for small business owners and ServiceQuote.info, really the only way to have an effective online presence was to spend several $1,000s on creating a website. That will show up organically when someone searches for it, and spending a lot of money on advertising and having the knowledge to figure out Google Analytics and Google AdWords. We're putting all of that knowledge and all of that expertise into a very affordable monthly plan for a very simple but powerful one-page website for small business owners, because a plumber and an auto mechanic do not need a $5,000 website, but they still do need an effective web presence, and that's what we provide.
And one problem we see is that, even if you have a cost-effective solution for the one-page website, is that people will kind of cut out the driving traffic to that one page. So it needs to be packaged in one solution. You need to not say, well, we spent some money on that big website. That was a lot of money for us. We don't want to spend any more money for another 2 years. So you just let a nice, pretty website sit dormant for 2 years because you don't have it's an expenditure and you don't have money for expenses. It needs to be all one expense-based, monthly-based kind of thing.
And obviously frequency and the way you update it and the way you polish it, and it counts.
Well, that goes to the larger infrastructure website. One of these one-page websites, you really never change the content on the page. Instead, you do activity off-site that drives traffic to the page.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So it's a little bit switched up there with that.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay. Good.
I feel good, man.
Yeah, we've got a lot to go with there.
So when do you do these? These are little 2-3 minute spots.
They're 3-minute spots. They run every Thursday in the drive time morning, in the mid-morning, and then 5 o'clock drive time sometime like that, maybe 4 o'clock hour or something. They're like 4 or 5 times a day on a Thursday. And then they advertise it throughout the rest of the week.
Okay.
So,
Well, you take a look at it during the morning drive. It airs straight from 6 a.m. up until 10 a.m. every hour.
Okay.
every hour. Awesome.
Yeah. And then it airs again at noon. And
Jay does the morning show, which is the most popular thing
Yeah, I've heard the
on
morning
this radio
show.
station.
And then it's either 4 or 5. I can't remember which. Though.
Maybe 4:40 or something like that.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Not sure. Good.
Can you lift your seat up and then I'll take a picture of the two of you?
Get ready.
We can stand up.
Yeah, you have to do it quick.
Oh, okay. I can get you standing up.
Yeah, that doesn't even work.
Rachel, I wanted you to do it with him down.
I've got all the pictures of him like this. So.
That's hilarious.
Oh, Jason.